Welcome to Local SEO Today. I'm Roger Murphy. Today I'm with, and I'd like to interview, John Vuong, who is the owner of Local SEO Search. We thought it would be nice for you viewers to get to know sort of some of the team members here at Local SEO Search. So John, good to see you and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Roger.
So John, we want to talk, and I'd like to get everyone to know a little bit more about you. Maybe we'll talk about your journey in terms of starting this company, the highs, lows. Let's talk about that. So in terms of your, I guess where it all started, tell us, you grew up in Hamilton. Give us the background of your growing up.
So, grew up in Hamilton. I was the last of four children. Mm-hmm. My parents were new immigrants from Vietnam. Mm-hmm. And so we really just resided, and I was born shortly after, and grew up, went to school in Hamilton, and I have three siblings. So for me, throughout the years, I was really working at a very young age.
Were you? That's what I wanted to talk about, because we are talking about your business here today and kind of the journey. Like, what was your first job?
I was a newspaper boy. So I
Hamilton Spectator, is
yes,
that
that's right.
Very good.
So I had a local route. Me and my siblings, so my two brothers, were actually newspaper boys. And I believe it was when I was even 10 or 11, right? I was fairly young. I was, just helping out until I was, in middle school, where I had my own route, right? And I would spend 30 minutes to an hour every single day after school.
It was a daily newspaper?
Delivering newspaper.
Wow.
And I believe it was just Sunday that we did. I believe it was actually maybe every single day. So it was a daily newspaper.
Nice. So, I mean, I wonder, do you think that got your entrepreneurial spirit going at a young age? Did you have to collect money from the clients also? So deliver and also collection day.
So there were three components. So you deliver a set route.
Yes.
You collect on a weekly basis, where they used to have a stamp. So you had this card for a year, and you would stamp it every single week. They would collect funds. And then you would also get bonuses or some sort of commission on new subscribers. So within your row, there's people that don't get the newspaper, so you try to solicit them to try to get them on board as well.
Nice. So that was your first one. I know leading up, we'll talk about university, etc. But from age 10, what else did you do on your journey towards higher education?
So Hamilton Spectre I probably did it for 4 to 5 years. And then in middle school and actually in high school, I tried various types of jobs. But the most permanent one that I had during the school year was I was a pager at the Hamilton Public Library. So it was a very steady job where I would be working 8 hours to 15 hours a week. And it paid a lot better, a more friendly environment. Inside.
Summer and winter. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was fairly easy, right? For me, it was really the opportunity of just getting a steady income, doing some work, which is just putting away books, answering.
That's what a pager is it?
Yeah, put away the books that kind of get returned. Okay. I was actually the third floor pager, and probably 2 days a week or 3 days a week, I was working there. Nice. And then there were some other odd jobs that I had. So throughout the school year, I was actually working as a fryer at Iverwood Stadium. I did some odd jobs at
French fries.
Exactly.
Okay.
French fries.
What else would you cook?
Onion rings, chicken fingers.
Oh, nice.
So you name anything in the fryer, but typically French fries.
All right.
Also at Local Coliseum, there were some other events, and in the summertime, I've done many various jobs as well. So I worked at Royal Botanical Gardens. I worked at just landscape help, some manufacturing, warehouse help as well.
Interesting. In all those experiences, is there anything that you could sort of take and say, learned something that I've actually used or I recognize when I'm running my own business today? Is there anything that sort of caught your eye around customer service or about how to treat people or how to ask for money from people?
Yeah, so I think the big thing is just I was living at the moment, right? And maybe I was living paycheck to paycheck as well. So any funds that I was really getting, I was able to buy my clothes or food or snacks or help out wherever I can. But relationships, really, that's what I truly believe. Out of everything, I was able to meet some really good homeowners at the newspaper route. Some of the staff at the Hamilton Public Library. Just building upon getting to know people.
Interesting.
Right?
Okay.
And connecting with people. Right? Because once you get to know them and understand their journey and their life, that's where you can connect.
When you were a kid, did you have did you dream of a job like I want this, or did you have a dream job as a kid that you loved that you could do all your life?
Well, when I was growing up, I mean, we didn't have cable TV, but we did love watching TV, right? So whenever, and I think a lot of people can connect with this, where, if you didn't have cable, you would just be watching, a couple channels. Or it would be scrambling, and you would only get that one.
Did you have rabbit ears?
Exactly.
Sure.
And there was that one staple NBA game a week that I was always glued to. Or video games, right?
Sure.
So what I did was every Sunday there was that Chicago Bulls always playing, and there was Michael Jordan. Right?
There you go.
So ideally, me being young, adolescent, and I was playing sports at the time. I wanted to be an NBA player, right? So I wanted to be. How do I get to that level? And yes, I would go into the YMCA. I was playing sports. I was a part of the team. But
so
really,
your dream job was NBA.
I wanted to be a professional athlete.
There you go.
But when I couldn't even make the senior team of basketball, that kind of deflated my dream, right?
You gotta have dreams. So, but the next thing really is higher learning. You end up, so you do high school, then you went to university. Tell us about what'd you take, where'd you go, what'd you learn there?
Yeah, so throughout the years, actually I took a semester off of high school and I worked full time so that I can save enough to go to university and have funds, right?
All right.
So what I did was I worked at Mandarin.
Okay.
So they were opening, so Mandarin is a buffet restaurant, fairly popular here in GTA, but in Hamilton back in 1998, so when I was 18 years old, they opened their first location in Hamilton. And there were 800 applicants, right, for maybe 50 positions. And I was trying to get a full-time position as a waiter. And there must have been hundreds of other competitors, right, trying to do what I'm trying to do, right? And they probably had a lot more experience than myself as well. But I was actually fortunate enough to get that position. So that was one of my... I was very proud of that accomplishment.
Yes, good for you.
And I worked there during this, 4 months or so until I went to school. So I actually went to school at Western.
Okay, down in London.
London, Ontario. And I studied a Bachelor of, I guess it's Business and Marketing. So I didn't do the HBA program. I just did the normal bachelor degree there.
Okay, sure.
It was called ACS Finance and Administration. But that's their business.
Nice. Through, I guess you did you had the entrepreneurial experience as a kid, now you're in university doing the business. Where did you want to take it from there? What were your dreams then?
Well, again, I'm just trying to get through it all, right? Being in university, there's challenges as well. So for me, I lived in residence. So I remember the college. It was Essex Hall. It was a newly built building, and living in residence, taking everything in, and yes, you get to finally live on your own. And now, basically, there's no one cooking for you, cleaning for you. No one really, you have no rules. You can do whatever you want. You can even not go to class if you want.
The profs don't really care, right?
They don't really control you, right? So all you have to do is really get good marks to pass, right? So it was a shock when the first exam came and my grades were 20% below what I was so used to get. getting.
Yes.
Right? When you're a straight A student and then suddenly you're a 60, 70% student. But that was a real shock.
A wake-up call,
A wake-up call, yeah. And you cannot procrastinate as you used to, right? In high school, I kind of coasted.
Yeah.
But when it came to reality in university, you really need to study.
Very good. Well, good for you. And so leaving university, I mean, we are here today, and I know with Local SEO, we're going to speak with that specifically, but leading up to running your own business, what stages, where did you work before that? And tell us a little bit, maybe some experiences you had going along the way.
Yeah, so even at university at London, I was working throughout those years. I was actually doing some of the security work for the games, some parking as well, just to earn some disposable income so I can actually spend money and party and, live, right? So I've always been kind of working. And then, which was interesting because in the fourth year, actually not fourth year, third year of my studies, there was an opportunity to either do two things. I could try to get into the HBA program, which was more honors of business at the Ivy League school. And there was also an opportunity to do an exchange program. So I didn't get accepted to the Ivy school. So I applied for an exchange program and I did get accepted to that. So I studied out in England for a year. So northern England, out in a small city called Lancaster. Again, it was a great experience for me.
So talk about a life experience for sure. Young guy, you grew up in Hamilton. This was probably a great big, move, a big one.
Yeah, moving from even London was a big move because it's an hour and a half away from Hamilton, from my parents' family. And then now flying to a different country, not knowing anyone, not knowing the climate, not knowing what to expect. First time actually getting a passport and traveling.
Wow.
So that was my first experience of traveling alone, right? Wow. Or traveling in general.
At all, yes.
So me arriving there, you get to meet some other exchange students, meet a lot of the locals. I was living in residence again, but just getting to learn their culture, right? And meet new people, right?
Going to the pub, I'm sure.
Oh yes, a lot of pub days. I mean, that's how they socialize. Meet me at the pub, and it was 6 days a week at the pub.
Wow.
Right? And that's what they do in the evening, right? Cool. They don't really watch TV. They socialize at the pub.
Amazing.
Right?
That's terrific. So in terms of your education and getting the life experiences you've got, then I suppose you move. Tell us about maybe your first post-graduation career. Where did you start, and what were some things that led you along the way towards where we are today and where you are today? Yeah,
so I think that travel experience, that travel bug got to me. So right after I finished university out in England in Western, I really wanted to continue traveling, right? So I actually applied to be a teacher out in Japan. Right? So shortly after finishing my degree, I applied, I got accepted, and I was really eager to go.
Right.
And then reality hit. My brother actually came to me and told me, you either pay off your debt, or you're gonna delay paying off your debt by traveling.
Yes.
Right. So there's two fronts. My mature brother, who's been through it all. I think he was about to get married and start a family, where I was just entering my career.
Sure.
Right? So I had to make that decision of either flying and going for a couple more years and not knowing where I was gonna settle and do for my life, and just teach and travel, or find an opportunity in Toronto. So what I did was I rejected Japan and I found a job in Toronto. And again, I submitted hundreds of resumes, interviewed, and I finally had an opportunity to work in sales at a small startup called Red Pages.
Oh yes,
So that's where I started my journey in sales and marketing.
That's excellent. And of course, that, from what I understand too, Red Pages was kind of a new form. It was an internet-based directory, or maybe a print-based directory of internet addresses, every business, every industry was trying to figure out this world of Google and the internet, how to monetize it. So Red Pages that was their concept.
So it was very interesting because it was a great, unique idea, right? Business. Because in 2003, so imagine 16 years ago, right? Google didn't take over yet. At that time, Google was at their infancy.
Sure.
And Yellow Pages was still the dominant player in the local landscape, right? People were still investing tons of money in advertising dollars. Every local business was in that directory. So when I was at Red Pages, it was a great concept. Website addresses in a physical format, going to every single business and home, right? Distributed across the city, and people who wanted to advertise, just like the Yellow Pages model, would advertise on size, vertical, and placement, what you're paying for, right? And hopefully that will move the money from Yellow Pages revenue over to the Red Pages. And that's where I really enjoyed the advertising sales end of things.
I was going to say, because leading up to where we are today, there was a couple other jobs and careers you had in there, but really, can you talk about anything you learned? Because everything we do, it's a cumulative effect, right? So you learned some sales, interacting with business people, so to speak, at Red Pages. Can you describe anything else you learned there and what you took to the next job and how we eventually landed where you started this company?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I've been learning is just don't be fearful. Just go out and do something, right? So I was very much I want to try different things.
Sure.
I didn't know what I wanted to do at a young age, right? So I didn't even know about sales. I had no formal training. I just enjoyed interacting with new people, getting to know them. And people actually enjoy just hearing about my journey and stories, right? And that's where I found to be unique, right? Because people are unique. People are different. They come from different backgrounds. They have different stories, but yours is going to be unique. And if yours stand out and you connect with people, they are more likely to connect with you.
It's true.
Right?
On a
and
human
stick
level.
with you.
And as we've spoken many times in this world of robots and AI that's coming in, that the personal connection, I think, is still going to be hugely important.
Yeah, so, at Red Pages, that's where I was not fearful. I know business owners, that was the first time I dealt with a lot of these local business owners, and they were kind of liking what my story and what I was selling because the concept was great, the idea was great, the execution was not so great, the usership was not so great. So that was the challenge at Red Pages, right? I was out there selling, but nobody was actually using the product, right? And that's something I cannot control as a salesperson, right?
What else do you move on to from there?
So from there, I actually did a stint at Izugu Ads. So it was an affiliate online marketing company. So shortly after the Red Pages, I was recruited from a affiliate online marketing company. What that meant was digitally, they partnered with Fortune 500 companies that only wanted to acquire new customers. So these are dating sites, there's the medical pills, you name it, right? All they wanted to do was pay per acquisition. They have a set budget of thousands of dollars a day, and they didn't care where they came from.
Just
go get it. So they partnered with an affiliate network like the one I was working at, and this affiliate network partnered with huge independent sites and larger sites that dealt with email marketing, ads on Google. They had banner ads, they had contextual ads, they had any form of digital to get the message across to hopefully acquire that new business for them. So there would be a commission to them, and they will also pay for that person who owned the website.
What did you think about that business? Did you get some learnings out of it?
Yes. So because I was a biz dev manager at that time, I was just doing intake on businesses that wanted to be a part of that network. So I had to screen them to make sure that it's a good fit, they had the budget, if they had a good campaign, a good landing page, etc. So what I learned was, every business is different, right? The purpose of these big companies was all they cared about was the bottom line. There was really no relationship being built. They wanted a product and they wanted deliverables.
Transactions.
Yeah. And at Red Pages and all my other jobs, it was really to get to know people.
Right. Relationships.
Relationships. And I didn't like going into the office, sitting down in a cubicle and making phone calls or people calling me and just dealing with them on a more impersonal level. So that stint didn't last long, and I knew exactly then that I would never want to do something like that moving forward.
So, because everyone, as I said earlier and asked, we learn all the way through life when you're trying different things. Did that lead you towards, I've seen this, I've worked at this, I enjoy working with people. Tell us about, did this lead you towards starting your own agency?
Well, not exactly yet, because I didn't have a lot of experience still, right? So shortly after working there, I actually worked at the Yellow Pages.
Okay, yes, where we met.
Yes, that's where we met. And I was there for a couple years. So from there on, actually, because they had such a strong training program, I think we were in training for 7 weeks.
Yes, it was a big training.
It was a long training process, but you learn so much through training. And they put you through a 1-year probation, right? And even during that time, I was outside sales. I was learning as we go, right? And it was you learn how good some of these salespeople were, right? From just experience and getting to know them on a more personal level, right? And business owners, how they interact, because now you have a book of business and all you have to do is service them. But what your objective as a salesperson is a little bit different than corporate, right? So you have to do all these frontline things, which is relationship building, customer service, making sure the ads were done properly, renewing and upselling them, going after new clients. There's so many other variables that you have to touch upon, and I enjoyed it. It was a grind, but I actually had a lot of fun because of not just the training, but the people I was dealing with. Everyone came through the same sort of training and environment, so you can kind of connect and relate to them. And even the different types of businesses that we work with, right? From physiotherapists, dentists, you name every single vertical, we kind of touched with them, right? And we connected with them. So you got to know a lot of business owners over the years, and you just try to learn a little bit from each of them.
Are we now at the stage where you said, I want to run my own show or master my own destiny? What was that when it dawned on you that I want to try this? So
I was at Yellow Pages for about 5 years, and near the end of the years, I came to realization that the customers that we were dealing with were very frustrated. They were not happy with the returns they were getting. They were seeing that Google was dominating. They didn't know why they would have to pay in ads in print when online was taking off, right? So I knew there was an opportunity there. I was trying to sell what was available at Yellow Pages, which was the search engine marketing package, which was pay-per-click ads, right? However, what I found was the renewal rate on that was very low, right? And it's very much so where customers, where you connect with, you trust them. Right? Marketing at Yellow Pages is a different story because they'll have stats telling you that we're doing so well, but in reality, business owners don't lie. If they were happy, they would continue advertising, right? So I knew that if less than 50% of people were renewing, something was up, right? So that's where I was kind of investigating, well, if Google is where everyone is searching, what other places where should you be, right? And that's where the optimization component kind of kick in. And that's where I kind of started doing my own research and self-taught information.
Yes. Okay, cool. In terms of starting your own business, everyone talks about the journey, the hurdles. Were there any particular hurdles you had to overcome to start this business?
mental hurdles. I mean, I didn't really have a business model. I didn't really know what I was doing. And the thing is, I don't know if business owners actually know what they're doing or getting themselves into, right? Until you're in it, when you stop having a stable income, when you kind of put in 16-hour days and not knowing what your day is going to look like,
Yes.
where it even starts.
Yes.
I mean, for me, when I first started, all I wanted to do was to see if there's revenue to actually continue,
Yes.
right? So, and I'll tell you a story. The first ever customer that we had at Local SEO Search, I didn't even have my laptop yet. I had my mobile phone, and I was selling a dream of, guess what? I can get you on that first page of Google,
And you're showing your phone.
on my phone.
Yes.
Look at all these competitors. Wouldn't it be great for you to be there? And that's what I did. And I got a 6-month check right off the bat. It started the momentum of, now I have the ability to pay for a website, get them some stuff going in terms of, building citations and getting some content done. But yeah, that's how I started.
Great. So it's not so much hurdle, but it's like you got to make this thing happen, which is you need customers and you need revenue, and it's just all things happen. I guess for any business owner looking at this today, good things happen when you get a customer.
Yeah, so I've always been in sales, and I was very aggressive at the beginning. So I was really out there trying to door knock, meet as many customers, prospects, talk to some of my old clients to see if anybody is interested in some of the service that I was offering, right? And once I got a batch of them, it's more, are these my ideal customers, right? Over the years, I've kind of refined to figure out who the verticals are that I want to go after. What are my key demographics, right?
Nice.
And markets and criteria, and really asking the right questions, right? Because at the beginning, you're taking on anything, right? And trying to make them happy because you're promising the world, because you just need money.
An excellent point. Every new business owner, you do, over time, you start to refine, but in the early days, you take every job, everything that comes along because you're building your business.
Exactly.
So that's what you learned in terms of your journey.
Yeah, in the first couple of years, you don't earn any money because you pretty much sacrifice your entire pay.
Yep.
You're paying for all your staff and software, equipment, and whatever it may be.
Sure.
And there's nothing in return. So that's a sacrifice I made as a company. But I enjoyed the process, right? Nothing came to me naturally. I was not given anything. I earned everything myself, right? And everything I've learned over the years is, you work hard.
Yep.
You be honest. You're transparent. You're good to your staff. You're good to your clients, right? You run an effective, good business, and hopefully things will happen.
Things will happen, for sure.
Right.
Well, that's amazing. And of course, I think the truth is, I know I see it when I'm out, but we learn something all the time. There's something new coming. Either you learn from a client, you learn from the industry, what's happening. There's changes going on. So you need to be a student, don't you? All your life.
Constantly learning, right? And the thing is, every client is unique. They're going to have their challenges, and you have to take it a step back and observe what they're actually doing and why they're saying these certain things and how to take them on or whatnot, right? And you get to pick and choose. For us, it's more, we're at a situation where we're very happy with what we have in terms of product and service offering, right?
Nice.
We're confident in what we can provide. We have some good reviews and testimonials, case studies. So what we're continually doing is refining our processes, getting better, going to industry events, learning from the experts, and trying to minimize the mistakes that we've learned over the years, right? Get better in terms of efficiency, getting our staff to be up to speed with the changing environment, because there's so many different factors going on in this industry.
Now, on a more personal note, John, and I know you've said to me, and I completely agree, that family is everything in life.
Yes.
So let's get on a personal level. You've got a family. So tell everybody about your family situation, your little guy. Let's hear about that.
Yeah, so I do have a toddler son. He's currently in daycare right now. But yeah, he's my life. So for me, I mean, the last couple years, I've been running a business, but at a certain time of the day, I pick up my son and I turn off my phone because it's family time.
That's it.
Right? You work hard during work hours and anything else can wait.
Has to wait, right?
Has to wait. And
He's 3 going on 4.
That's correct.
So amazing times, I'm sure.
And
they become little people.
And watching him grow, watching him talk, watching him just say the things he says, I mean, that's what life is about, right? And I'm very fortunate enough that I'm spending as much time as I can with him. And you know, I'm learning from him as much as he's learning and trying to absorb what's going on in this world, right? And I'm giving him as much flexibility and, you know, opportunity out there as well.
So you and Vivian, your wife, you're out doing all sorts of family activities.
Yes.
Skating and skiing and toboggan, whatever, all the things.
And going to events. Yeah, just living, right? And we like traveling. We like enjoying life, right? Because life is short.
Yes, it is.
And you never know what's going to happen. So you embrace it and you take on the adventure of, you know, not only running a business the way you want to run, but do it well.
That's it.
So that it can buy you some time to spend with and what matters really in life, right?
Exactly.
Spending time with the ones that you love, your family and your friends.
That's it.
Right.
Well, this has been a nice little interview, getting to know you, John, and I'm glad anyone looking to know more about the team at SEO, Local SEO Search here in Toronto, they can understand better who they're dealing with, and I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you, and see you again.
Thank you.